In this particular lecture, we are going to learn one new type of contract. They are not actually new type of contract, but new topic, contingent contract. What are contingent contract is nothing but conditional contract. Now we have learned something about condition. Where we have learned, I'll tell you. But try to concentrate. I'm trying to enter into one type of contract where I am a farmer. I am saying to Mr. X that I will be giving you 100 kgs of potatoes today, and I can deliver him 100 kgs of potatoes only if it does not rain today, and he is going to give me 1000 rupees. And see what is the condition. If it does not rain today. My question to you is, see, you have learned 5 units of Indian Contract Act 1872. Now you should be able to give some logical answers. This point we have done. My question is conditional contract valid? Can there be this type of condition? Have we learned this type of condition anywhere? Yes, Krutika.
Yes, offer can be conditional.
Yes, once again, tell me loudly.
Yes, offer can be conditional.
Exactly. This type of contracts are valid if the condition is in offer. Good, Krutika. This is valid if condition is in offer. Krutika, can you be online? If condition is in acceptance, then
Acceptance must be unconditional.
your voice is not absolutely clear. Any other student can answer? Yes, Varish?
Unconditional.
Sorry, come again.
Extent is must be unconditional.
I think your voice is also not clear to me. But any other student? Mishri?
Acceptance is must be unconditional.
Exactly. But I am asking you, if the condition, this condition was in acceptance, that what? Then what? Then it will become
Void.
exactly. It will become void agreement. It will become void agreement. So this can become a valid contract. The answer is yes. And as Krutika Ba said, if condition is in offer and it was accepted by Mr. X, then this will become a valid contract. And we have learned that if condition is in acceptance, it does not become a valid contract, it becomes void agreement. So assuming that the condition is in offer, this contract will become a valid contract, and so this contract, because there is some condition attached to it, will also be termed as which type of contract? Contingent contract. So you say, if someone asks you, are contingent contract valid? You will say yes. If the condition is in offer, the conditional contract or contingent contracts are valid. We are going to learn definition of contingent contract under section 31. The contract to do or not to do something, the contract to do or not to do. We have understood, right? Promise can be something to do also, and promise can be something not to do also. Consideration. Consideration can be something doing, something not doing is also consideration. So the contract to do or not to do something in event if some event collateral to such contract if some event collateral to such contract does or does not happen, does or does not happen. Let me explain you by the same example. Contract to do something. What is the contract? Doing something, giving 100 kgs of potatoes and receiving 1000 rupees. If some event to such contract, what is it? Event? Raining. Raining is an event. Does or does not happen. In our case, it does not happen. Right? What is the condition? If it does not rain today, if it does not rain today, then this type of contract will be termed as contingent contract. You will say, sir, what is collateral? Try to concentrate. The law says that this event should be related to the contract. Should be related to contract. See, if it does not rain today, I might receive my stock of potatoes and so I will be able to sell you. So raining is important in potatoes. Right? But if the condition was this, I will sell you 100 kgs of potatoes and you will be giving 1000 rupees if dog barks today. If dog barks today, then this event, even if it is based upon happening of some event, it is not a contingent contract. Why? The event, this we are talking about, should be related to the contract. Should be related to the contract. Is it all right? See, I will teach you offline. If there is unlock in Gujarat, if we are permitted to run classes in Gujarat, then these two things are related. The contract and the event are related. Is it all right? Then it will become a contingent contract. So this cannot be anything. Is it all right? The contract to do delivering 100 kgs of potatoes and receiving 1000 rupees, or not to do something. If some event which is related to that contract happens or does not happen, then this type of contract will be termed as contingent contract. Is it all right? Essentials of contingent contract. We have learned essentials of n numbers of contract, essential elements of valid contract, right? We have learned n numbers of times. But this is essentials of contingent contract, and believe me, nothing will be new. Number one, everything is taken from definition. The performance of the contract, it is dependent upon happening or non-happening, excuse me, non-happening of event. In our case, not raining was an event. And number two, event should be collateral. We have understood this. These two things, raining and potatoes, are related. Offline classes and coronavirus unlock is related. So they both should be related. Collateral means related. Number three, contingent event should not be mere a will of promiser. contingent event should not be a mere will of promisor. Try to concentrate. I am giving you a contract. I will give you, let me take name, Namra. I will give him a diamond. He will be giving me 4 crore rupees. See, what is the condition? I have given the offer, and what was the condition in this particular case? The condition is whenever I wish. This is the condition. So what is the contract? I will be giving diamond to Namra, Namra will be giving 4 crore rupees whenever I wish. This cannot be a condition. This cannot be a contingent contract, because condition should not be a mere will of a promisor. It should be some event which is collateral to this particular contract. It cannot be mere wish of a promisor. Is it all right? Number 4. The event must be uncertain. Event must be uncertain. I'll give you an interesting example. See, this you all should be knowing because you have learned probability in your 11th and 12th standard. All right. So when you have learned probability, there was a probable event and there was certain event. What is a probable event? What is a probable event? Probable event is an event which is having some probability in it. There is some probability in it. Certain events are 100% sure that they will happen. Certain events are 100% sure that they will happen. Alright. So, event must be uncertain. That is what? It should be probable. That should be some, see, even 90% probability is probable event. Right. So there should be chance that it might happen. There should be chance that it might not happen. See this. Does not rain. It might rain. It might not rain. So event is probable. Right. I will sell you 100 kgs of potato if stock arrives. Stock might arrive, stock might not arrive. Is it alright? So this is nothing but event should be related also, and event should be uncertain also. It cannot be a certain event. Then it will become a contingent contract. These 2 points are new, otherwise essential elements is directly taken from definition. What are the 2 new points? Contingent event should not be a mere will of promisor, and event must be uncertain. We are going to contingent contract when enforceable. Contingent contract when enforceable. Try to concentrate. I am writing down first particulars of the contract. Example, and my answer is when enforceable. If a contingent event is dependent upon happening of event, within specific time. Within specific time. Let me give you an example. I will give you 100 kgs potatoes. You will be giving me 1000 rupees. What is the condition? If it rains today. If it rains today, happening of an event. See, contingent contracts are always dependent upon happening of an event. What is an event? Raining. Happening of an event within specific time. A very easy answer. When this is enforceable. Can you tell me when this contract will come into picture? When it is required that I should deliver 100 kgs of potatoes and you will be giving me 1000 rupees. Anyone? Very easy answer. When the contract will come into picture, when the contract will become enforceable.
When it rains.
When it rains. It does not rain was previous example, Prati. It rains is nothing but whenever it rains. See, it rains right now. Then at this point of time, the contract becomes enforceable. So when it will become enforceable? When it rains. Of course, today. When it rains today. Is it all right? In technical language, what you will be giving an answer? In technical language, you will be giving an answer when event happens within that specific. Sir, if it does not rain, please understand, we have understood this. Then the contract will be discharged. If the condition is not satisfied, the contract will be discharged. The contract will come to an end. This is when it becomes enforceable. We are going to point number 2, and slowly and gradually we will understand each and every point. So if the conditions contract are dependent upon happening of a certain event, then when that event happens in that particular time, it is enforceable. Let me go to point number 2. Non-happening of event in particular time. Non-happening of an event in a particular time. See, what is an example? I will be giving you 100 kgs of potatoes. You will be giving me 1000 rupees. If it does not rain today. So our original example, right? Happening or non-happening of an event? Non-happening of an event. See, it is not necessary to rain. It is necessary not to rain. Non-happening of an event in a particular time. Today is a particular time. If it does not rain today. Is it alright? My question is, when this contract will be enforceable? Prati, you should come online and tell me when it will be enforceable.
When it doesn't rain.
Right now it is not raining, so right now it is enforceable.
Yes, yes, sir.
So right now it is enforceable. I give you 100 kgs of potatoes, and after 1 hour, if it rains, then condition is not satisfied.
10 also I have to give because when contract was made, it was not raining.
But what the contract is saying, the contract will be enforceable if it does not rain today. You are saying, sir, right now it is not raining. If right now it is not raining, you will not be, I will give you 100 kgs of potato, you will be giving me 1000 rupees, and after 1 hour it rains, then after 1 hour is also today. Then the condition is not satisfied.
Okay, sir. Then the contract will be
Then
cancelled.
contract will become void. But my question is, when it will be enforceable? It is not enforceable right now. Yes, one minute, try out.
At the end of the day,
Yeah, Dhruvi?
When the whole day, if it does not rain, then it will be applicable.
When? Exactly when? At the end of the day?
Yes, or maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, today at 12 o'clock and 1 second. Can I say this? Today
Yes.
night 12 o'clock, if it has not rained, 1 second passed, now it is tomorrow. So our condition is satisfied. It has not rained today. Then today night 12 o'clock and 1 second, this contract becomes enforceable. Yes, I will not deliver you potatoes at night. I may deliver you potatoes in morning. But this contract comes into picture as Varish told, Vandan told. As Vandan told, it will be at the end of the day. It will be at the end of the day, and if it has not rained, if it has rained, then the contract is discharged, contract will get cancelled because condition cannot be satisfied. But if it has not rained, whenever the day ends, contract becomes enforceable. Now, Prati, you also understand. At the end of the day, after 1 hour, if the rain comes, it does not matter because now it is not today, it is tomorrow. Right? So, it will be enforceable at the end of the day if it has not rained. Technically, what you should write down, when it should be at the end of the period, whatever might be period, say in this case it is today, in other case it might be 10 days, then it will be at the end of the 10 days where if event has not happened. If event has not happened. Is it alright? So, non-happening of an event in a particular time, when it is enforceable at the end of that particular time, at the end of that particular time, if the event has not happened, if the event has not happened. See, two cases look same, but they are totally different. In first case, the contract will come into picture when it rains. In second case, the contract will come into picture if it does not rain throughout the day, and the contract will come into picture practically on next day. That is 1 second after 12 o'clock. Is it alright? If this is the exact condition which is written. This is nothing but two cases of contingent contract. We are going to third one. It is happening of event. Happening of event. No time limit is specified. In this case, no time limit is specified. Then what? I will be giving you 100 crore rupees of finance. You will have to pay me principal plus interest back. You are, say Dishita. See, Dishita called me and said that she is having very good contact with Narendra Modi. So I told Dishita that okay, then I might give you finance of 100 crore rupees. But see what is the condition? The condition was in offer. if Narendra Modi visits your house, it is a contract dependent upon happening of an event. No time is specified. I'm not writing if Narendra Modi visits within 1 month, within 1 day, within 2 days, within 100 days. Nothing is written. What is written is if Narendra Modi visits your house. What is difference between case number 1 and case number 3? Akshat? Akshat, what is difference between case number 1 and case number 3? Asta?
There is no time limit in case number 3, but there was a time limit in case number 1.
1. Is it correct? Yes. This type of contract, when it will be enforceable? Asta, you are online. Can you tell me? When this will be enforceable?
When Narendra Modi will visit Dishita's house.
Exactly. When Narendra Modi will visit Dishita's, whenever, say after 2 years, if Narendra Modi visits, I will have to perform my promises. Alright. But it should be a reasonable try. Try to understand. Contract Act also says that the contract should be performed within reasonable time. Alright. So it should be a reasonable time. But yes, in absolute terms, when Narendra Modi visits Dishita's house, that is technically when event happens, but not in specific time, when that event happens. So this was an easy point. We are going to fourth one, which is somewhat typical. Non-happening of an event. And no time limit is specified. Non-happening of an event and no time limit is specified. That's all. See the contract. Same. I, Dishita, I will finance 100 crore rupees. Dishita will be giving me principal plus interest. I'm having some problem with, I am a Congress person. So suppose it is just an example. I am having problem with Narendra Modi and I write down the condition. If Narendra Modi does not visit your house, if Narendra Modi does not visit your house. This is a condition. Now tell me who will be giving me the answer. When this contract will become enforceable. Not in technical terms, only in this case. Yes, Krishna?
Sir, when Narendra Modi does not visit the Dishita's house,
Narendra Modi has not visited today Dishita's house. Then what?
if visits, then the contract will be cancelled. If not visits, then
Narendra Modi has not visited today. So today I need to give 1 crore rupees to Dishita.
as per contract we can give, but after he came, then
Tomorrow Narendra Modi visits Dishita's house. Then what?
no time limit is there.
There is no time limit. Then you are talking about point number 2 and not point number 4. Are you getting it? For point number 2, your answer is correct. At the end of the period, if event does not happen, day number 1. Yes, one then.
Within reasonable time, if Narendra Modi doesn't visit Dishita
I
house,
will not talk about reasonable time in this particular contract. I want a direct answer. Reasonable time is another clause. I want a direct answer when this contract will become enforceable. Any other student? I will not accept the point within reasonable time if Narendra Modi does not visit. Is it correct? Because here no time is reasonable time. Alright, it might be 5 years. Number.
Sir, this is not possible only.
So this, you say this contract is void agreement, right?
Yes.
Alright. Mishri,
When Narendra Modi visits Dikshita's house.
visits or not visit? Mishri, it is not visit. You misread the question. It is not visiting. Then, if Narendra Modi visits Nishita's house, the contract is discharged. It is cancelled. I am saying when it is enforceable, when the contract will come into picture. I want answer from you. Come on, who will give me the answer?
Sir, today Dishita can enforce because yet not he can.
Dishita can see, then if one party can enforce, one party cannot enforce, it will become a voidable contract. If it is a voidable contract, you will have to prove whether there was a fraud, undue influence, misrepresentation or coercion. And you cannot prove anything. And so it cannot become a voidable contract. Once a contract is not voidable, both parties can enforce the contract into court of law. So one party can enforce is not a correct answer. There are n numbers of answers in chat that this type of agreement is void. It is not void. Alright, I will give you answer. When Narendra Modi die, if Narendra Modi die, can he visit afterwards Dishita's house? Yes or no? No. Right. Then when the contract will be enforceable? When Narendra Modi dies. And in technical language, when event becomes impossible. And when this event will become impossible, when it will not be possible that Narendra Modi will not be visiting Dishita's house, it will only happen when he dies. Otherwise, I say right now Dishita and Narendra Modi might be having a problem. Tomorrow they might become friends and Narendra Modi visits the house. Then the condition will not be satisfied. When the condition will be satisfied, when the event becomes impossible. When Narendra Modi dies, this contract will come into picture. Any contract which is based upon non-happening of an event, no time is specified, then what is the condition? That event should not happen. And when that event will not happen, only when it becomes impossible, because there is no time limit. So you cannot wait to end that particular period of time. So this will be possible only when this event becomes impossible. When this event becomes impossible, and here in our case it becomes impossible only when Narendra Modi dies. Is it alright? We are going to next point, that is fifth one in this. On happening of impossible event. Let me take an example. My wife will be giving me 20,000 rupees. I will make her owner of my house if she brings real moon for me. Alright? when it will become enforceable? We have learned agreement to do impossible act is a void agreement. But here agreement is not to do impossible act. What is an act? I will be transferring my house and my wife will be giving me 20,000 rupees. The event is impossible. Can anyone give me answer? What will happen when it will become enforceable? And now some of your previous answers might be correct. Yes, Krishna.
It is not contingent event because it should be uncertain.
Exactly. Good. And so, see, law is very blunt. And it's joke of a contract. And so, if it is a joke of a contract, what will happen? If it is a joke of a contract, it will become void agreement. And whenever it is void agreement, it is not enforceable. So understand. A promise to do impossible act is a void agreement. An agreement to do impossible act is a void agreement. Agreement which is based upon impossible act is also a void agreement, and it will never be enforceable. So, what is this topic try to concentrate? And this topic is enforceability of contingent contract, and it is divided into 5 parts. Happening of an event within specific time, when the event is enforceable, when that event happens in that specific time, non-happening of an event in specific time, then at the end of that particular time, third is happening of an event when that event happens, fourth is non-happening of an event when the event becomes impossible, and fifth is happening of an impossible event. The agreement itself is void, and void agreement are never enforceable. So this is nothing but enforceability of contingent contract. We are going to next point, which is quasi contract. They are also termed as deemed contract. Let me create some interesting quasi contract. I and Tisha, we don't know each other. We have never given offer or acceptance. We have not done anything. We have not done an oral contract, written contract, or a symbolic contract. Neither I have given offer, neither Tisha has given the offer. Still the law says that there is a valid contract between I and Tisha. Now this is a limit, try to concentrate. There was no offer, no acceptance, no consideration probably, even if none of the essential elements is satisfied. The law says deemed, assumed, dhara hua. Deemed contract. The law says there is a valid contract between I and Tisha. Is it alright? You will say, sir, this is very surprising, or probably it is magical. How a person who is not giving offer, another party not accepting, sometimes there might not be even consideration, some of the valid essential elements might not be satisfied, then why it is becoming a valid contract? Try to concentrate. I'll give you a simple example. Tisha comes to our classes for law lecture, and Tisha lost her gold chain. Which I found. Which I found. Which I have found. Now the thing is, Tisha knows this and she is saying that, sir, give my gold chain back. I tell to Tisha that we have not entered into any contract. So I am not liable to perform any type of promise. Yes, ethically I should give your gold chain back, but it is ethically. I am not ethical person. I will not give you your gold chain back. And because there is a no contract between I and Tisha, I am not an ethical person. I don't want to give this gold chain back. I tell to Tisha that you go back. I will not be giving you your chain. Tisha goes into court of law. I argue the same thing in court of law. See what court will say. Jai sir, you are not only ethically liable to give this gold chain back, you are legally also liable to give this gold chain back. So I will have to perform my promise. What is my consideration? It is not important. Law says that these are valid contract. Even if none of the essential element is satisfied, then also it will become a valid contract. What is a contract? I will have to give this gold chain back to Tisha. What Tisha will be giving me? Nothing. Sir, there is no consideration on both sides. As I told you, even if the essential elements of valid contract are not satisfied, it is a valid contract. You will say me, sir, where there is an offer, not required. Where there is an acceptance, not required. There is a valid contract between I and Tisha, whereby I will have to return this gold chain back to Tisha. This is a valid contract. Have we actually entered into contract? No. This is a deemed contract. Law says that even if there was no offer, acceptance, consideration, it is a deemed contract, and this type of contract are termed as quasi. Alright, so my stand that I was ethically liable to give this back was not correct. I am ethically also liable, I am legally also liable to give this gold chain back to Tisha. Legally, under penal code also I might be legally liable. Under Indian Contract Act also I am also legally liable. I will be taking question in between. Krishna, can you can ask?
Sir, meaning of deemed?
Deemed contract. So this is quasi contract. Now who will decide? See, law says that it is a contract. Then law will decide that which all contract will fall under quasi contract. We are learning quasi contract. One, finder of lost goods. We have learned it already? Yes. He is legally liable to pay back this goods to original owner. This is nothing but finder of lost goods. Number two, claim for necessaries with a person who is incapable of contracting. We have learned this in minor. Minor are incapable of entering into contract. I entered into contract with minor. An agreement with minor is void. I have supplied him biscuits, and he is liable to pay me ₹100. Believe me, biscuits will fall in necessity. Minor is liable for necessity provided to minor. We have learned it in minor. You can go to minor if you have just forgotten it. But minors are liable. But see, on one hand, the law says that it is a void agreement because of capacity of party. But here it says, if the claims are provided of necessity to a person who are incapable of contracting, maybe minor, maybe person of unsound mind, that minor or person of unsound mind is liable to pay money to provision store wala. I am provision store wala. Sorry, I am provision store wala in this case. Is it alright? Because what was supplied? Necessity, and minor or person incapable of contracting are liable for necessity supplied to them. Number 3. Payment by interested person. See, I don't remember the names, but I have taken similar contract before also. There is Lakshya Academy. Let me take one name, Prachi. I will be providing foundation coaching. Prachi is liable to give me 35,000 rupees. Instead of Prachi, Hetvi comes into picture and she says me that, sir, you take this 35,000 rupees of Prachi. I tell Hetvi that whether Prachi has given you this 35,000 rupees, Hetvi says no. Hetvi says, I am paying you because I am friend of Prachi. Right now Prachi is not having 35,000 rupees. There is nothing personal, this is just an example. Now, my question is this, which I have taught you, so I expect that you will be knowing. Hetvi is third party, and can third party perform? Anyone can, by raising the hand, can give me answer? Can third party perform the promise? I want some other people also to give answers. Nihar.
Sir, legally not, but if promise he accepts, then
What will happen then?
The 35,000 will be party can perform. Third party can.
All right. So your concept is correct. The statement is not correct. Yes, Krutika, can you rectify the statement?
Yes, the third party cannot perform, but if the third party perform and the promisor accept, then the original contract will be discharged.
Original promisor will be discharged. So, Hetvi cannot perform. If Hetvi performs and Lakshya Academy accepts, then now Lakshya Academy cannot recover from Prachi. And now this is obvious. Lakshya has already got fees of Prachi. Now it cannot again recover fees from Prachi. This is where we have learned performance of contract, performance by third party. My question is, now we are coming to quasi-contract. Was there any contract between Prachi and Hetvi? The answer is no. But believe me, there will be a quasi-contract whereby Prachi will have to pay rupees 35,000 to Hetvi. If everything is proved correctly, Prachi was attending the lectures, she was admitted to the lectures, Prachi was liable to pay 35,000 rupees. Instead of Prachi, Hetvi paid, Lakshya Academy accepted, Prachi was discharged from the contract. So now Prachi is not liable to pay to Lakshya Academy. But can Hetvi, who has done a good job, recover 35,000 rupees from Prachi? Yes. Sir, there was no offer and acceptance between Prachi and Hetvi. All right. There was no consideration between Prachi and Hetvi. There is actually a consideration. But even if there was no consideration, this will become a valid contract. And what will happen in contract? Just one thing. Prachi will be paying 35,000 rupees to Hetvi. If Hetvi does not get that 35,000 rupees, Hetvi can always go into court of law. Is it alright? Here, Prachi cannot argue that Hetvi, I have not told you to pay the fees. Alright, this argument cannot be done. Is it alright? This is a type of quasi-contract really important in your practical life. See, in practical life, if you ask to a layman, if you actually ask to Prachi before learning Indian Contract Act, Prachi will always say, I will not give a single penny to Hetvi. Why? Because Hetvi has never told me. I have never told to Hetvi to pay my money. Even if she is my friend, now I will not pay 35,000 rupees. She is not only ethically incorrect, she is legally even incorrect. Legally, there is a contract. When Hetvi pays the fees, Lakshya Academy accepts, there comes a quasi-contract between Prachi and Hetvi. It's correct. So, this is nothing but, see what was the heading? Payment by interested. Who was interested? Prachi was Hetvi was interested in paying Prachi's money. Payment by interested person. Then there will be a quasi contract between Prachi and Hetvi. Number 4. Obligation of a person enjoying benefits of non-gratuitous act. Obligation of a person enjoying benefits of a non-gratuitous act. Let me explain it in a separate page. Obligation of person enjoying benefits of non-gratuitous. Alright? Try to concentrate this particular thing. I and rickshawala. See the situation, huh? I am in Hill Drive, raise my hand, and the rickshawala stops. I sit in the rickshaw and tell him to take me to Goga Circle. Alright. So what rickshawala is doing? He is taking me to Goga Circle. I am raising the hand, sitting in the rickshaw, and I am going to Goga Circle. I was dropped at Goga Circle. I told thank you to rickshawala. Rickshawala told me no thank you, give me 50 rupees. The rate is 50 rupees from Hill Drive to Goga Circle. You need to give me 50 rupees. Here we are not talking about whether the rate is genuine or not. But he is asking money from me. And see what I am saying. I am saying there was no offer. You say I raised the hand is an offer, cannot be an offer. Offer should be definite, specific and not vague. We have not decided the rate, then it is not a definite offer. Correct. So there was no offer. You have not told me that I will be charging 50 rupees. He was just riding the rickshaw and he took me to Goga Circle. So you never told that you will be charging rupees 50. Am I liable to pay rickshawala ethically? Yes, always. But am I liable to pay rickshawala legally? The answer is yes. Forget about there was offer or not an offer. Forget about there was acceptance or not an acceptance. Even forget whether there is consideration. Even forget whether there is consideration or not. Law says that this is a quasi-contract, which is a valid contract. Try to understand. Obligation of a person, responsibility of a person, enjoying benefit. My benefit is I want to go to Goga Circle. Now without walking I am at Goga Circle. Of a non-gratuitous. Gratuitous means free. So non-gratuitous is not free. Non-gratuitous is not free. Is it correct? A person who is enjoying a benefit of a not free act is liable to pay the money. See, when I am sitting in rickshaw, I know that rickshaw wala is doing a business. Rickshaw wala is earning money from this profession. He is not doing this free of cost. And I am enjoying the benefit. Then it is my obligation to pay the money. Sir, there was no offer. No need to prove there is an offer. Law says it is a quasi-contract, and quasi-contract are valid contract. Quasi-contract are valid contract. Are you getting it? Obligation of a person enjoying benefit of a non-gratuitous act. This was a non-gratuitous act. Will be nothing but a quasi-contract. Fourth example of a quasi-contract. Fifth one. Money paid by mistake. Money paid by mistake or under coercion. Now, coercion example we have already taken, in which point you need to restore the benefit under void or voidable contract. In that we have taken already this example, so we are not taking it again. Let me take money paid by mistake. Try to concentrate. One fine day in my SBI bank account, received 9 lakhs rupees. Was credited to my account, so I have received it. I was surprised. No one was liable to pay me 9 lakhs rupees. How I have received it? Is it correct? Then I found out it was payable to Jai Panda and it was paid to Jai Pandya by mistake. This was mistake of a bank. Next day, without asking me, SBI Bank debited 9 lakhs rupees. See, I called SBI Bank that you might have given me money by mistake, but without my consent, without my signature, without my check, without my ATM, you cannot withdraw 9 lakhs rupees from my account. You asked me whether it was received by mistake or not, but SBI debited it directly. I went into court of law that I want my 9 lakhs rupees back because I have not signed a single document whereby I need to pay 9 lakhs rupees to SBI Bank. The case was dismissed. SBI Bank won the case. If the money is given to me by mistake, legally I am liable to give it to SBI. Now, whether I have signed it or not, SBI can take back this money. If the money was delivered to me by mistake, it is my responsibility to give that money back. Ethical responsibility or legal responsibility? It is a legal responsibility to give this money back. Try to concentrate. One of the students paid me by mistake, instead of 35,000 rupees, paid me 3,50,000 rupees. What was payable? 35,000. She has paid me 3,15,000 rupees more. How she has paid me? Through check. By mistake, she wrote 10 more. By mistake. This mistake never happened, but by mistake. Am I ethically liable to give this money back? Yes. Am I legally liable to give this money back? The answer is yes. There is a quasi-contract. Whenever the money was paid by mistake, there is a quasi-contract between student and me, and I need to pay this money back legally. Sir, is there any contract between you and student? Yes. It is a quasi-contract. About this 3,15,000, I am not talking about 35,000. About this 3,15,000, there is a quasi-contract. I need to return back this money to them. These are the 5 cases where the law says there is a valid contract. And when law says there is a valid contract, no need to prove there was a valid offer, valid acceptance is not required to be proved. This will be valid contract under the heading of quasi contract. Sorry, this is quasi contract, and this is the end of this particular session.